So how do you keep getting those red-pilled liberals and those sort of disaffected lefties? Well, you gotta keep allowing for truth to get out there. Here was a really nice moment a couple days ago. This is, I would say, two liberals. This is Joe Rogan and Russell Brand calling out that unelected bureaucratic machine that Jedediah is talking about, related to Bill Gates and COVID and vaxes and more. Watch the video.
We're thinking the best thing might be this medication. But of course, you can vote. What you don't want is the WHO determining that in the next pandemic, they have the right to implement by their votes contained within the WHO, like lockdown measures, medication measures, which is something that they're lobbying for currently, I understand. Yes. Less and less democracy, more and more ability for unelected globalist, I would have to say globalist organizations to assert political influence over nations. And that's what we saw here. And like when you know that the WHO's second biggest funder is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and he invests so heavily into these vaccines. Again, like stuff that gets called conspiracy theory, but you can look at the evidence is there.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation profited millions of dollars on the vaccines. Millions and millions of dollars. It's all easy to find. And then once he dumped the stock, then he completely changed his narrative and he started talking about how ineffective the vaccines were and about how the virus wasn't as bad as we thought it was and about it was mostly targeting old and obese people. Like, this is wild, because this is the same guy that through the entire pandemic was talking about how great these vaccines are, and these vaccines are so effective, and they stop the virus, and they stop transmission, they stop infection, and all that was a lie, and he profited off those lies.
All right, so this is good stuff, guys. You may be watching that going, well, I know all this stuff, and okay, we've been talking about this for a while, but you got to remember, Rogan's got the biggest podcast on the planet. His audience is generally, I would say, a bit left-leaning. It's hard to say now at this point, right? Maybe it's a little more libertarian. But Rogan himself, as far as I know in the last election, didn't even vote, right? So he this guy who's unbelievably influential, I suppose didn't have I don't want to exactly say it like this, he either didn't have the balls or whatever it was, he just couldn't do the thing for Trump, right? Even though he was always complaining about Biden, always complaining about wokeness, all of these things, right? He couldn't quite get there. But now, actually, now that we're into this Biden term and things have been a little weird and all of the COVID nonsense and the cognitive stuff and everything else, even Rogan now is coming out and saying that he could do something a little different this time.
And I go, I would vote for Trump before I'd vote for Biden, just because I think with Biden, like he's gone. Like, you know, he's gone. You're going to be relying on his cabinet, and I knew his cabinet would be this sideshow of diversity, and which is exactly what it is. I mean, that one person who stole all the women's clothes, that Sam Brinton, we highlighted on the podcast yesterday, like, that's a diversity hire. You just said, oh, look at this, a man who dresses like a woman and has a beard and a mustache but also wears lipstick. This is perfect for us. I don't give a what this guy's good at or bad at. I don't give a what their credentials are. This makes us look like we're inclusive. This makes us look like we're on the right side. So let's hire this person. And you can't have those kind of people running a Ben and Jerry's. You certainly can't have those kind of people running the most powerful government the world's ever known.